Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I am going to play the warning real quick and then I'll be right back.
Warning: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as a criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All people are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I reserve my First Amendment rights to express myself.
So, how's everybody doing today? Okay, so today I am going to go over the Karmelo Anthony. There has been a few updates. He has been indicted with first degree. So, yes, we're just going to kind of go over some of the things. I'll kind of give you a quick breakdown. We have lots. Well, not. My son's playing Legos right now, so if you hear some noise in the background, I am sorry, but he's having fun, and that's all that matters. So let's see. We are going to start off with. I'm just trying to think of where I want to start at. Okay, so let me kind of give you a little quick breakdown. Karmelo Anthony, he stabbed Austin Metcalf at a Frisco ISD track meet. Um, he does not deny that he did it. He's just claiming that it's self-defense. So currently we're at he posted bond. He was on house arrest for a little while. He still is. So I think it was earlier this week, the grand jury finally indicted him on first degree charges. However, he will be tried as an adult, but he will not get the death penalty. He will either do anywhere between 5 to 99 years, which is life in prison, due to the fact that he was 17 he was at the age of 17 when the crime was committed. He just recently turned 18 a little after he committed the crime. So um, again, so they could still charge him, as an adult, but they couldn't give him the death penalty. Just there is that age technicality there. Not saying that I wish that upon anybody. I'm just kind of giving you the details of what possibly could have happened to Karmelo Anthony. Um, oh, that is a video. I have a video that I wanted to play for you guys later on. It's cute. It has nothing to do with it. That's why I'm like not gonna play it now, even though I wanted to. But okay, so we're gonna do that. Let me go here and bring up the video. I'm gonna skip through the messages. Not the messages. Okay. Let me pause, and I'll share the screen with you guys so we can watch this. So According to some of the news out, well, okay, so the video of what happened. So they have surveillance. They have video of the incident or the accident or whatever you want to call it, the crime. They have video of it. They have released it with stipulations attached to it. So, from my understandings, you're allowed to request it, whatever, whatever. But the only thing you can do is you can view it. You cannot have a copy. You cannot record it. You cannot do anything. You can just view it and just kind of remember what as much as you can of the video for your own recollection of it. Um, but for whatever reason, they're not allowing the video to be shared upon or to be brought out into the public for public knowledge. Again, we are having to rely on sources that have seen the video and hopefully rely on the word that they will transcribe what they've seen as best as possible. So that is kind of like where we're at right now. And we're going to watch the video because, again, like I said, you're allowed to view the video, request it, view it, and that's pretty much. So let's see. I was supposed to show the video, right? Get it together. Sorry, usually I can multitask, but for some reason my son's really distracting me right now. And I have a feeling it's right about this time frame. I'm just gonna skip it and we'll listen to this.
And is that Carmelo Anthony's track meet footage has been released, but only to a certain group of people. And they articulate what they saw in the video. Roll the clip.
Frisco ISD is releasing surveillance video of the stabbing at the track meet that led to the death of a student back in April, but only under very strict conditions. So through open records, they will allow whoever requests it to view that video, but no recording whatsoever is allowed. On that note, we sent our I-Team producer, Kelsey Mittauer, to watch that video. She joins us now in studio to walk us through what you saw. We're going to go in order here in just a second, Kelsey, but in general terms, what did the video depict? What did you see?
It shows everything from the moments leading up to the stabbing, to the medical response, to then the beginning of the police investigation.
Okay, and it lasted several minutes is what they showed you.
It did, about 30 minutes.
Okay, so let's start in the beginning now and talk a little bit about what you saw at the front end of that video, because you got to see the attack, the actual stabbing took place.
So it starts, I started watching about 9:53. The camera shows half of the field. So it's about from the 50-yard line on, and the tent where it happened was kind of right in front of the 50-yard line, but the camera is down here. Okay. It's positioned across the field. So everybody in the video, you can tell there are kids or adults, but no one's identifiable.
So a long shot is what
a long shot, yeah.
So a couple of minutes in, and you actually see the altercation take place.
Yes, everything leading up to it, everyone's milling about. It seems very normal, and then right at 9:55, that's when like there's this explosive movement or action between two people under the tent, and that's when the employees in the room told me that's when the stabbing happened at 9:55.
Right, and you were talking about people kind of start to scatter at that moment. Obviously, something went wrong. And so what happens next? Because now, a little bit later on, that's when the ambulance shows up.
Right. So when the ambulance arrives, it actually comes through near the end zone at the gate, and then it comes up to the 50-yard line directly in front of the tent. You can see Austin Metcalf is right here. But then when they pull up close to the tent, they realize that they can't get the stretcher to him because of the barrier of the bleachers. So at that point, then the paramedics have to get out, and then they have to walk all the way back to the end zone. This is actually, yeah, on the next slide. They have to go all the way back to the end zone and then come all the way back. That takes another couple of minutes. So at this point, they've arrived and they are actively working on Metcalf at that point.
And we want to reiterate, we're using some imagery here to sort of denote exactly what was happening here, these little icons that were using the ambulance, because again, the video was not able to be released. You're watching all of this happen, Kelsey, and you're watching the time sort of elapse. What are you thinking about when you see this, especially when you see sort of the issues in getting Metcalf out of there?
I mean, I understand why it happened the way it happened. They were still working on him. Actually, the thing that really struck me is they're working on him, and that's when you see the rain's coming down heavier, and then they actually pull out the blue tarp.
The blue tarp that we saw.
Right, and then I noticed the crime scene tape is already up. I was so focused on here, I didn't even see that, but they're building the crime scene actively around him as they're continuing to work on him in the bleachers.
So that was happening while he was
let's
still
talk
there.
about this. Let's talk about this real quick. I think it's time for me to interject and get some things established. So with the video footage that have been articulated, it sounds consistent. Now, she's not saying a lot. The video footage doesn't seem like it's the end all be all. I'm pretty sure witness statements are going to be more pertinent than a grainy video footage. But what I think it will show, that's going to be a very big burden for the defense, is that they're going to have to show through the video evidence that there was an altercation. Because if there is a lack thereof an altercation, it's going to make Karmelo Anthony look bad. Because if you see people fighting an altercation and then right around that time you see a stabbing, then that could be different. But it appears that people who allegedly saw this video, because I can't verify if they saw it or not, I believe they wouldn't get on the news and lie because they'll get sued, the Sox will get sued off, that they're saying that it does not appear to be a brawl, or it does.
Hey, Temper, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome. How are you? How are you? I'm still working on that little whatever it was. Hey, Temper, welcome back. Forgot I had that on in the background. But yes, I will currently work on that sometime today. But yes, this is definitely, again, they released the video. Well, the video is out there. You have to request it, but you can only view it. You cannot have a copy. You can't. So they've released the video, but they're not releasing it to the public, is what they're saying. So that's why they've only have certain people who've gone in and view it and try to do their best of their ability to explain what is going on. Again, this is the picture that they put up, so that way they can help explain. So they're basically giving us a visual, try to make it as accurate as what she saw there. Again, if as the young gentleman was saying, yeah, there's not all. This really looks bad towards Karmelo Anthony, especially if he's raising the self-defense claim that he did this in regards to self-defense. So if there's no commotion, no outbreak, no altercation prior to the to the stabbing, then this really hurts Karmelo Anthony's case. Again, this is such a tragedy of what happened. Again, there's a lot that goes into this, not from the school to how you handle patterns with certain patterns of behavior with certain people, and student athletes on their on the lackadaisicalness of letting these athletes get away with, giving them making them accountable, holding them accountable for the things that they do instead of turning the other way because they are a student athlete. So a lot of this has been stemmed from what people may call race, what people may be, a gender issue, a race issue, all these other issues. But ultimately, it does come down to what's right and what's wrong, and to pull out a weapon in any school function or campus or premises. Um, it's a violation of not just the school conduct, but could be in violation of the law, determining on what state you're in too. So, again, they allowed Karmelo Anthony to graduate, receive his diploma. So they've really went lenient on Karmelo Anthony so far. So I'm just glad that they were able to in you know fully press the first degree charges on what is truly what I feel is to be the right, I shouldn't say punishment, but punishment for him, to hold him accountable for these types of things. Apparently he's had a pattern of fighting, he's had a pattern of bullying, he's had a pattern of this stuff. And again, for him being a student athlete, a lot of things get overlooked and turned, and the other cheek turned. And along with his parents, his dad's a very was a very well card salesman. He's very high up in the ranking. He's very good at what he does. He's able to sell and trick and manipulate. Use his words, use his demeanor, use his statue. So I'm sure he's gotten a few cars for some of these not Northside, Frisco ISD members and things like that. So I'm pretty sure they have a close relationship. Again, this is just my opinion, but just by looking at some of their actions, I mean that would be the only way. Why would you stick your neck out for somebody that you don't have any type of ties to? So, and we'll get into that along with the NGAN and what they stand for and how they're either hurting or helping Carmelo. So we'll get into all that. So let's go ahead and finish this video and see what else we can learn from this crime scene.
Does not appear to be a mob attack against Karmelo Anthony, and therefore his self-defense claim does not seem prevalent.
Well, what do you think is going to happen in this Austin Metcalf thing? You think he's gonna be able to...
Hi guys, it's Selena from Star Glamping Tent. Our glamping dome tent has an eye-catching and elegant.
Well, now that boy going
Karmelo
to jail.
Anthony is going to go to jail.
Carmelo going to jail because listen, you cannot bring a weapon to school.
Yeah.
So you can't say I was
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense, because if you are afraid the day before, well, you have to take a weapon to school, why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher, let's bring these kids in here and resolve this issue. It's called conflict resolution. We was taught in homes that has morals and values, you tell the teacher. Somebody you tell the teacher, let the teachers know, so when y'all have an altercation, you're cleared and you're covered. Documentation beats conversation. So words of documentation to say this is self-defense. It's a premeditated crime because you took a weapon in fear, anticipating to use it.
That was premeditated, though.
And it's at a track meet. You getting ready to run track with other kids and you got a knife on you. No, man, you got to go to jail. You got to go. There's no, so when is that, when?
I must have missed this guy's name. I'm not paying attention to the Gulf of America thing, whatever. But this dude is really on point. I teach my kids that all the time. Somebody's picking on you, somebody's doing something to you, because I have one child that has does a lot of things before thinking. He does impulsive things. So I always, every time you get in trouble, I'm like, did you tell the teacher? Well, there's nothing I can do if you don't tell the teacher, and the teacher doesn't know about this history. Now, I can get it if you told the teacher one or two times, and then this teacher didn't do anything, and then when you decided to do something, she gets after you. I completely, or he, or whoever the teacher is. Then me and that teacher is going to have a little conversation. But if we don't have any knowledge of what is going on, and you go and you are violent to somebody else, and we don't know, then how we're going to help you? Again, just like he said, like, you tell your parents, you tell the parents, tell the teachers, or there's a chain of command you got to go through. And I always tell my kids that there's a chain of command. You go through the chain of command, and then if it doesn't work, then we got another issue at hand. Then that's a totally different problem, and then mommy has to get in it. Yes. It has been a while since I kind of did an update on this case, Rainbow. So I just needed an update because they're I kind of wait for like a few things to happen so that way I'm not just constantly reporting this, every day on the same thing. So, but yes, he has been indicted for first degree. Again, like I said, he is perfectly right. There is no reason for you to take a weapon to school, and especially if there's no previous documentation that somebody was bullying you, picking on you, and you were in fear of your life. Hello, for sure, TV. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, but yes, so I just think like this whole case is to claim self defense is really far out there. So again, if this video doesn't show any kind of altercation of what happened, if it doesn't show any kind of altercation before the before he stabbed Austin Metcalf, then the self defense claim has really gone out the window. I wouldn't even think he would even have a claim after that, unless it's a plea for insanity. But again, a lot of this stems, and then it doesn't help that the community out there is really supporting this act that he did. Of course, they're making it about other things, but when it all comes down to it, you're ultimately supporting somebody for doing something wrong just because of a race, a gender, age, whatever the case, whatever excuse may come up with to allow this to be correct. There's a lot of people who are still supporting this. Um, like I said, so we will get into that. I'm gonna finish. We'll get into all that. Who's still supporting this type of actions. I mean, it's so sad, but they are. And let's just continue with this video because I want to see if they finish up with explaining the video that they released but not releasing to the public, which is stupid. Plain out stupid. How are you going to release a video but not release the video? Like, okay, let's.
And is it all right to
going.
kill the bully? I don't give a what the bully did. He don't have a right to die.
No.
Man, you weak man. That's why I say teach the kids how to deal with bullies, and this won't happen. We're all not equal. Even in nature, you can be feeding a flock of birds. There's going to always be one bird to come in and take the food from the. This is nature. Yeah. You cannot get rid of bullies. Teach the kids how to deal with them. Bullies build character. You go to work, it's going to be a bully supervisor, a bully co-worker. You cannot get rid of the bully. Teach our children conflict resolution. Everything don't have to end in violence. But when you come from the black culture, everything is disputed in violence.
Yeah. That is the problem, though. That's how
it's the culture.
That's the culture. Is that's how they solve when you have a serious issue. They don't even contemplate trying to talk it out.
We teach a no snitching rule, right? So our kids are walking around with these mafia rules, codes, and ethics of the streets that's held over children about no snitching. So now I have to take a weapon because I don't want to be a snitch and kill another kid. Oh, it's a simple solution. Go tell the teacher. Tell your parents.
Now, when it comes to the ambulance working on somebody, I would argue that a medical personnel jumped up into the stands and began CPR as they get the stretcher to come around and get Austin Metcalf. Also,
caps lock. Just be careful with those because I think the moderator would time you out for that. But I'll go ahead. If that's something that you guys want, I'll go ahead and fix that on the back end when I try to figure out the other thing that happened with Temper the other day. So again, like I said, this whole system is new. I got to figure out what they're going to allow on here as far as my software moderator, since I don't have a moderator. I'm solo. So I would try my best to try to tweak those things so that way we won't have any of these people getting kind of timed out. So I did try to change all the time limits just real quick, at least to like a minute, so you shouldn't be timed out too long. But again, I didn't go through each individual one to figure out what they do and what they don't do. So little by little, we're learning together. So again, let's continue with the video because I want to see if
So
they're going to say
the
anything else
reason that they
about
put
that
crime
thing.
scene tape up is because they probably knew that Austin Metcalf had already died. Like, this is one thing I think people have to understand, because there's legitimate protocol that you have to do. Although, do you know that there's an end result? Like, for instance, you don't stop doing CPR on somebody just because they die, if that makes sense, right? Until you can get them to a medical facility where they could possibly be reassessed and there could be life-saving measures. If a person is completely dead and they're ruled dead at the scene and there's absolutely nothing you can do to save them, then they will leave the body at the scene, tarp the body, and create crime scene tape. The medical staff will
Yeah, that's
leave and
actually
the
crazy.
coroner will come and
So,
get
okay.
the body
So it
later
looks
after
like
they
they're pretty
process
much
the scene.
done with, I guess, viewing the video. Apparently, she said it was like a 30-minute video, but it looks like she quickly explained it in like less than 10 minutes. So I don't know everything else that's in between that. So again, it's a crazy situation. Um, so if y'all don't know about Sarah Fields on X, she's been keeping great updates on the Karmelo Anthony case. She's been requesting documents. She's been requesting all sorts of stuff, the video, the everything. So, and she's been keeping up with this. So, if y'all haven't yet, please go over to X. If y'all are on X, like Sarah Fields, subscribe, follow whatever it is over there, and she has, and it's not just about Carmelo. This is about anything that she's investigating or she gets her hands on. She goes all in. She dives all in, and I don't know how she does it, but she gets it done. She gets it done. So I don't know how she does it, but so we're gonna go ahead and go to and read up on some of the things that she has brought to our attention. It's this one. Okay. So this is Sarah Fields' X page. So again, we're gonna kind of go down. So the last thing I really reported on from about Carmelo Anthony and everything was about the NGAN, how they're not certain aspects of their organization. I shouldn't say their whole organization. I mean, yeah, I guess one aspect of your organization is fraud. I guess your whole organization is fraud. But she started digging really into the NGAN, which is the Next Generation Action Network or something like that. So it's NGAN, which is run by Dominique Alexander. He is the whole man behind the scenes. Well, he's actually in front of the camera too, but he's also has his own history of violence and criminals and things like that. He claims that he has a security team that is assisting the Carmelo Anthony. However, none of those security detail people have licenses here in Texas, which is illegal. So there's a lot of little things that she has been picking bits and pieces out from them. They had not too long ago, they had a rally, but yet they were sending people away. They were really rude to people. It was a really weird rally for whatever reason that they had going on. We went over the arrest report, so we have been getting quite a bit. We found out that ISD, she went in and requested information from the Frisco ISD department in regards to their meetings and things like that, and found out that EdGAN has some type of contract with the Dallas ISD district, or the Frisco Dallas, one of those. So let's see. She was showing that Megan Metcalf, which is Austin Metcalf's mom, she reached out to the district asking them not to let Carmelo Anthony graduate, not to let Carmelo Anthony do certain things, which within the power that she had to request from them. They completely denied all her requests. They completely took months to respond to her. Um, so not only is the Carmelo Anthony family, but also the ISD is really making it hard for the Metcalf family to move forward with this, to kind of move on and be at peace because unfortunately their son has been issued a death sentence, and the one that issued that sentence is still able to graduate high school, live with his at his parents' house, and we'll get there because not only are they living at their parents' house, they're no longer in Texas, guys. They are no longer in Texas. I thought this fool was on a case. How are you able to get out of the state of Texas while you're being accused of a murder crime, yet you were still able to move? Um, it is crazy. This is also, you can see, again, Dallas ISD. Here she is, claiming that Dominic Alexander is being is an advocate of Karmelo Anthony, runs an organization called Next Generation Action Network, which is NGAN. Um, let's see. As I have reported previously, NGAN has collected funds totaling six figures, but they have engaged in what is known as 501c bouncing, switching to another 501c organization when they fail to file with the IRS. They have only filed twice with the particular foundation they are currently using. The current organization has not filed a tax statement in nearly 5 years. The organization is contracted with Dallas ISD. Not only is their contract publicly announced on the Dallas ISD website, but NGAN also posted a video on YouTube 2 months ago showing Alexander walking freely in Dallas ISD school. He has a background of harming a child. So what she's saying is not only is this person has been arrested for abuse and has this history of abuse and things like that. Yet Dallas ISD, who is actually responsible for our children, is having a guy like this who is an abusive to women, children, or whoever, people in general, allowing him to walk freely on these campuses where our children are attending school. The irony, they're teaching about financial responsibility. So not only are they are they using, not only is Dallas ISD using taxpayers' money to pay these people off with these contracts, it is, but they're also teaching them, they're using this organization to teach financial. So you're taking from taxpayers' money, giving it to a fraudulent organization, or what can be a fraudulent organization if any, if they go to court or anybody sues them or any crimes have been really committed. Again, I'm just reading off what is shown here. So you're allowing, so you're taking taxpayers' money, giving it to an organization, and then they're turning around teaching the kids on how to be financially responsible. Which, how come the school district cannot teach our kids? And I remember them teaching us how to balance checkbooks and write a check, and so I don't understand that part. So anyway, we found the board doc packet from Dallas ISD dated May 25th, 2023, and we did do that video where we read all the documents and they showed the contracts, the minutes, or whatever, whoever they were claiming and approving of to continue working, giving out these. I think it was like a 20, what was it, like a, it was a lot of money. It was like a 2 million or whatever kind of. They had a budget, and so they had all these contracts listed. I think it was about like 30 of them, and NJN what happened to be one of those that was on that document, on that docket. So they were approved for whatever grant that they were given. This document shows that more than one contract purchase was made with NJN, one for $4,444, one for $20,000, and one for $4,167. That's nearly $30,000 of the taxpayer funds. However, when I sent an open record request for copies of these contracts with NJN, Dallas ISD claimed they had no contracts with NJN. Why is Dallas ISD lying to the public? And why are they conducting business with fraudulent organization that has broken federal law? Why are they allowing a dangerous criminal to be around your children? And this is the video that they have. She pulled the member. She said they released a video. This is Dominic Alexander, and he is kind of like this is basically a commercial of whatever they're trying to promote. Um, let me start all over because I didn't realize my mic was off. So again, Carmelo Anthony had moved from Texas to New Orleans. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he got court permission or whatever, and I'm sure they used that they were scared for their lives. So we're gonna go ahead and read the message that is on Drew Anthony's Facebook. This is Drew Anthony is Carmelo Anthony's father. Remember that. So, a message from the Anthony family. With gratitude, strength, and faith, the Anthony family would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has supported us through this imaginable tragedy. Thank you all for your prayers, letters, donations, and unwavering encouragement. Today, we received the official news that the Collin County District Attorney has indicted our son, your nephew, your friend, your neighbor. This is a moment we hoped we would never face, yet one where we've been preparing for throughout these long and painful months. Through it all, you, our community, have been our strength. Your support has reminded us that we are not alone. Your love has helped us stand in the face of heartbreak, threats, and misinformation. Now, as the legal process moves forward toward trial, we enter an even more intense phase, one that will demand everything from us emotionally, financially, and spiritually. Yeah, you meant you quickly put in that financially part, right? And let's remind you, before they were financially harmed with this case, his dad was like again a prominent car salesman in Frisco ISD and a prominent car salesman prior to that before moving here. So he was at least making 500,000 easily, if not at least 100. Let's just say the bottom line, 100. Let's just say he was making $100,000 a year. That's still six figures. Oh, I mean, not six figures. That's five figures, but 100,000. And I'm sure he was making way more than that. But you're looking at 100,000 to 150,000 a year when poverty level line is what 20,000. You're looking at middle income at 40 to 50,000 if you're lucky. And even at that, that's still high end. So you're making almost double than what the normal average American is in Texas, at least around the Frisco, Dallas, San Antonio, anywhere in that 5 hour radius. Like even I think even all of Texas, we're probably around the same. But he's making a lot of money. So for them to be, and then you've raised a bunch of money from the community and moved into almost what we would consider $1 million house. You're paying $3,000 a month, which is three times what the normal average person can pay in a month here in Texas. And that's a two-parent working household family where both parents work. There is no way. There is no way you could be financially in debt. There is no way. Your kids had cars, your wife had cars, y'all went on trips. The average family probably goes on a trip once in their freaking lifetime, maybe once every 10 years if they are lucky. So, anyway, let's continue to read this. Some many wonder what this fund is truly for, and we want to clarify with transparency and honesty. These funds are being used to cover essential and urgent needs that have arisen as a result of this tragic situation, including but not limited to safe relocation for our family after repeated threats and the public leaking of our address. Okay, homie, that is never going to stop. You just got to learn to buck up, deal with the situation like the rest of America has to deal with the situation when they're put in that type of situation. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody being able to raise money and relocate into a much more valuable and better neighborhood than what the the people who are giving you the money from, so you can better off your wealth. Now, I can understand if you're going from middle income house to another middle, you're only paying 100,000 or whatever for for a house or whatever to get. But yeah, you're still, so it wouldn't even be considered security because you're gonna be around the same public people. You're gonna have access to the public. The public's gonna have access to you. The only way you're gonna be around that is if you're in a gated community with living with doctors, lawyers, and stars, celebrities, basketball players, people who make that type of money yearly, who's going to have security at the gate, who's going to have security roaming their subdivision, who's going to be like, what? What? Your son stabbed another student. I I don't care what state you go to. I don't think anybody's going to want your kid to be in the same classroom with their kid, with the potential of making your child upset because he didn't get his way, wah, 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 and potentially harm them as well. That's all it was. Carmelo Anthony cried like a little baby. I was going to say another word, but like baby, like my little 2 year old, or I shouldn't say I have a 2 year old, but like my little 3 year old does, threw a little tantrum because he couldn't sit where he wanted to sit. He couldn't do what he wanted to do, and he heard the word no, and apparently his parents never tell him no because he flipped out and he stabbed him in the chest. But this is crazy. And Tasha, I'm sorry if you have Rainbow Tasha. I'm sorry if you haven't been able to respond again, but hopefully you are watching in the background. Um, I really need to eventually get a moderator I can trust, um, to handle that for me because me no bueno, me no bueno. Okay, so anyway, so now they're trying to be, you know, honest, because people, I get it, people do dox people and give out their addresses, give out their information. I get it. But just like your son shouldn't have stabbed somebody, I'm sure they shouldn't go after you, right? I mean, an eye for an eye in some people's eyes, and that's what it looks like. Your child did something, so now, they're getting their revenge on. And unfortunately, your son got his revenge on, so why can't they get their revenge on? Oh, because it's illegal. It's illegal. Anyway, they also needed transportation to and from court proceedings. So not only do they have new cars, new everything, they don't want to drive those personal vehicles. No, because people will follow them. Not like they won't follow the fake cars either, but they need to pay thousands of dollars for these drivers to drive them from their home to the court and then the court to the home, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the NJN, which is the Next Generation Action Network. Again, they don't have the correct licenses to do security detail, but they're not calling it security detail. They're calling it just transportation. So I'm guessing driver. He's just going to be a driver. Trauma informed counseling for our entire family. So what about Austin Metcalf's brother and his father and his mother? Don't they need trauma informed counseling for the entire family? And then probably more for the rest of their lives because your son is still alive. Theirs is dead. They're never going to see him. They got to cope with that. Not being able to see their child for the rest of their lives while you see yours behind bars, alive, breathing, fed, bathed, clothed. Of course, it's not the prettiest, but he's got it right. trauma-informed enhance security measures, and critically retaining qualified legal counsel and a thorough, fair investigative team. So remember that. Critically retaining qualified legal counsel. Qualified. So that means the security doesn't have to be qualified. The transportation doesn't have to be qualified, even though lawfully and legally it's supposed to be qualified, because when you're security, you're supposed to be licensed with the state. But then again, how are you going to get to and from the court when you're in another state, you dummy? So is that why you need all this extra money of transportation? You're going to drive down here every day and drive back every day? I don't understand what is going what? What? And a fair investigative team, which is probably going to be all this is probably more than likely out of NGAN organization. While legal expenses are a significant part of this fund, they are only one part. Our family, a loving, God-fearing family that just lets their son murder people, but okay. And not wanting to hold him accountable for it. Did they even have a talk with him? Did they tell him what he did was wrong? Did they do anything? Did they again counsel him saying, "No, we don't pull knives when somebody tells us no"? If I was his parents, I would be afraid to tell him no. Now I'm pretty sure why his parents give him whatever they want, because they're afraid of him. I wouldn't be surprised. I know I would be afraid, but best believe I would be sleeping with the knife under my pillow too. You can come at me, I'm gonna come at you. But that's a totally different story. Despite the lies that have endangered us and others, what lies? What lies? They keep telling us people are lying, but they're not telling us what we're lying about. What misinformation do we have? Please let us know. Please show us what we're missing, because I would like to know. I just don't want to report one side or what people are hearing or what I think is the correct thing. Tell me both sides. Tell me what we got wrong. I am all about being Switzerland right now. I'm all for being in the middle and seeing what the right thing is. What really happened? Really went down? What was his mindset? What was his mind? A lot of it, no, 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 no. So our family, a loving, God-fearing family, is simply seeking safety, justice, and peace in these trying times. And so is Austin Metcalf's family. So is Jeff Metcalf. So is Megan Metcalf. And so is Hunter Metcalf. Despite the lies that have we read that. Oh yeah. Despite the lies that have endangered us and others, we continue to choose forgiveness. But forgiveness does not mean silence or surrender. We stand firm in our commitment to truth and justice, and we need your continued support to carry that forward. Aha. That's where it's at. They don't need help from just for them and their family and from their family members. They need help from everybody. So can you imagine if 1,000 people pitched in $1,000? That's an extra $1,000 that they don't have to worry about selling another car or working even harder, because they whatever money that they're making, they're keeping in their pocket. They're spending everybody else's money first and saving up their dimes and their nickels and their shiny $100 bills, crisp $100 bills. While we who are really working and slaving and who could barely pay our rent are giving them money for what? For a legal team? You know how many people didn't have a legal team? You know how many people who can't afford? That's why it's called what do they get? Those court appointed attorneys? They're licensed. They're legal. They're qualified. You just don't want that kind of qualification. You want the best. You want to spend the money on the best, so you can see. It's all about appearances with these people. They don't care whether what's going to happen. Like your son did it. Your son admitted to doing it. There is video of your son probably doing it. I mean, there's probably video. I mean, they're saying that there's video that they don't want to release to the public. So there's got to be more behind that. Why are you hiding it from us? So the public is no longer able to be aware of what's going on. Like, we have the right to know, and yet you're gonna keep it hidden. I already see something coming. Somebody's gotta sue, object, or something, but I don't know what the feds are gonna do. I mean, not what the prosecution is gonna do. Because if that was me, I wouldn't fall. I wouldn't tolerate it. I will push back. No, you're not gonna get away with this stupidness. Like, this is seriously BS right here. Like, you're playing games right in front of our faces. That's what they're doing. They're doing it right in front of your faces, and y'all are allowing it. Y'all are feeding into it because y'all don't think that they are these type of people. And unfortunately, NGAN clearly has a black and white pattern on paper that they can't be trusted. So anyway, this is not just about our son. And who is it? So that right there should tell you something. This is not just about our son. This is about every young person's right to a fair process. Yes, with your own money though. Like, just like the rest of the world. Everybody is entitled to a due process, to rightful attorneys, to a right trial, but not at other people's expense, at your own expense, because your son did the wrong thing and you expect the world to pay for it. I don't think so. I don't think so. That's what I tell my kids. Y'all make the mistake. Don't think I'm gonna pay for it. I am not paying for it. You could do your time. You could do your time. You could pay for your own bill. You could pay for your whatever you need. But I am not. And that goes, and then your son is not even my son. So what, if I'm not even going to pay for my child, why should I pay for yours? Especially if I know that they did something wrong. Like, I'll love them to death. I'll try to show you the way, but once you rogue, homie. You on your own. I'll be there, but you on your own, literally. I'll be there in a year. You could, yeah, okay, talk my ear off all you want. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it was your actions, your responsibility, your accountability. Whatever. So again, this is not just about our son. This is about every young person's right to a fair process and every family's right to safety, dignity, and justice. This is about ensuring the Constitution applies to all of us, not just some. I just don't understand why these people think they're any different from any other people that this happened to in the world. Your son committed murder, and you want us to feel sorry for you, not the person he murdered or the family that of the person he murdered. I don't understand. Like, if anything, your money, does the community's money should be going to Jeff and their family for burying their son, to help them bury their son, to help them with their family therapy and cases like that. Like, their security for people who are trying to represent you, take your side, so they're going after them. Well, you don't hear them crying for security money. You don't hear them crying that their house got leaked or swatted 3 times because of your community. Your community is damaging them. And when it is people retaliate towards you, it's not even their family that's retaliating. It's obviously their community that's behind Jeff Metcalf and them are retaliating against you, and you don't like it. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Simple as that. It's like, if you can't dish it, if you can't take it, don't dish it. And that's what your son learned. He wanted to be the bully, but ultimately he got screwed in the end on his own high and mighty high horse ego. And you guys and and the family are just sticking on behind it, thinking it's gun ho and Corey. I would have been like, no, what he did was wrong. Yes, he needs to do his time. Please leave us alone. We are working through this as a family. My heart goes out to the other family and move on with your life. We are needing help for lawyers and things like that. But unfortunately, you already know what the outcome is going to be. So why waste your money on lawyers? Focus on your other children. It looks like you got 3 other children to focus on who gets to see their brother, unlike the other brother. Your children get to see their brother. They just need a little bit of therapy and counseling and how to work through this and learn coping mechanisms, and then they're good to go for the rest of their lives. And until one of their family members get murdered and killed, and then they got to get put through the same thing. And the roles were reversed. I'm sure you guys would be crying, "Woo-hoo, poor, pitiful me." Anyway, despite the lies that endanger us and others, we continue to choose forgiveness. But okay, we're ready right there. This is not just. Okay, this is not just. Okay, we ready right there too. We are not here to try this case on social media. We are not interested in online arguments or judgments from those who don't know the full story. Carmelo will defend himself in court of law, not in the court of public opinion. So today we humbly ask, please consider making another You got to be kidding me. So today we humbly ask, please consider making another contribution to the fund for Carmelo. Please continue to share it within your network. Please stand with us for truth, for justice, for our son. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. Your prayers, your compassion, your generosity have meant more than the words can express. Yeah, because you got a new house off of it. But anyway, I'm sure you can't thank us enough for that. With love, faith, and determination, the Anthony family. Give, send, go. So now we are going to go over to the Give, Send, Go, and let's see what they have to say from there. Because remember, before they were only asking for like 500,000 or whatever, just for lawyer fees, and then it comes out that they were using it for. They moved to a new house, they did this, they bought cars, they did all this, they whatever, but they're talking about its security measures and all the little loopholes and things like that and tied into it. And I'm sure NGAN is all behind these little loopholes since they pretty well jumped through them themselves. Um so now let's go to the gifts and go. So before they were at like 500 and something, and then they raised it. Remember, NGN, I did a report not too long ago. They raised it because he was turning 18, and apparently, if you turn 18, the legal system charges you more. I guess I don't never heard of that, but whatever. Sorry, the AC is not on right now, so I'm a little hot in my robe. But anyway, um, so they raised it a little bit, or they asked for a little bit more money. I think it was like $18 because he was turning 18. So they asked for everybody to contribute $18. So then again, if you think about it, if you have 500 people who are supporting you, $18 from 500 people is still a lot of money. At least in my eyes, it is. It may not be enough. It may be enough for a down pay or retainer for a lawyer or something, but geez, So, and then after that, lawyers they make, you can make payment plans, but your income and your wife and your whatever, I mean, you have more than enough to make payments on this lawyer. But anyway, we'll get to that too. So help Carmelo. Let me show this. Sorry, help Carmelo official fund support for the Anthony family. We are grateful for you to support during this incredible, difficult time for Carmelo Anthony and his family. This fundraiser has been established to provide comprehensive assistance to the Anthony family as they navigate the many challenges surrounding Carmelo's case. Purpose of fund Anthony Family Update, June 25th, 2025. The Anthony, oh, well, let's actually go in order. Let's go to the April 15th, 2025, right? And this is when they were asking for the $18, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, that was in May. So this is when the incident first kind of happened. They put it up. We are grateful for your support during this incredible, difficult time for Carmelo Anthony and his family. The fundraiser has been whatever. Okay. Then they come and updated on June 25th, 2025. The Anthony family would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has supported us through this unimaginable tragedy. Thank you all for the prayers, donations, and so on and so forth. And as you can see here on the right hand side, you can see that 55 minutes ago, somebody just gave them $10. About an hour ago, $25. An hour ago, $50. An hour ago, $25. 2 hours ago, $20. $10. $100. $10. $7. $10. $10. Geez, these people are sending money to a family of a murderer. Yeah, I'm running an organization to save people from abuse, and I can't get a dime in from these people. Like, what in the world? Like, what in the world? What in the world? I don't understand that ludicrousy. That's ludicrous. $100, $10, $10, $7, $7, $10, $7, 100, 100, 100, 10, 20, 20. So ultimately, and this is all within a day, a day, a day. So far, they're now, remember, they said they needed more funds. The dad, we just read from Facebook that the dad is asking for more funds. So now they upped the ante from 500,000. I think it was like their original goal was like 500,000. They well succeeded that, obviously, with 539,000. Then the last time I reported, they were like at five something. So now they raised it to $1.4 million. $1.4 million. Holy crap. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But let's go back to Miss Sarah because I do want to point these out. Miss Sarah, remember Sarah's Sarah Fields on X. Again, she has a bunch of information on this. So again, Carmelo Anthony, this was 13 hours ago. Carmelo Anthony submitted an indigent packet to the Collin County Court requesting court-appointed legal representation as an indigent, financially destitute defendant. However, just 24 hours ago, the Anthony family updated their GiveSendGo campaign Sorry. So anyway, so however, just 24 hours ago, the Anthony family updated their GiveSendGo campaign to reflect a need to raise an additional 1.4 million for a legal team. Now, is that what they said? I wouldn't necessarily put it like that. I know the goal was raised, so I don't know if they got that goal money. So now this, please somebody out there, somebody, let me know. If they're originally raising 500, they met the 500, they raised the goal amount. Now, does that 500 still go towards that goal amount, or is that 500,000 like considered complete with that goal, and then now it's a brand new goal 1.4? Because they said that they were able to withdraw funds already from this account. So how they've already withdrew all those funds, and this is a brand new 500,000 towards the new 1.4 million. See, now I'm kind of confused because that is still a lot of money, regardless how you put it. But now, if you're doubling it, giving them a whole another 500,000 already on top of the 500,000 that they already had raised before. So you mean to tell me they've already raised $1 million? So if you're looking at 1.4, okay, so let's get it together. They originally asked $500,000. I would give or take 550, 500. Let's just say 500,000. Now they're asking for another 1.396725, so another $1.4 million. Now, does that original $500,000 goes towards that 1.4 million, or was that 500,000 completed and now they've already raised another 500,000 to go towards that 1.4? Because either you're collecting a total of 1.4 or you're collecting almost a total of close to $2 million with the previous original amounts. So you see what I'm saying? Is it the 1.4 or is it the 2 million that you're really trying to get the total amount for? I am so confused. I am gonna have to ask her about that. Because that seems crazy. That seems real crazy. So anyway, so a legal team. Karmelo Anthony's mother, Kayla Hayes, who manages the GiveSendGo, stated on April 17, 2 months ago, that they had just gained access to the funds. At that time, they had already raised $350,000. The fundraiser has now reached $538,000. According to source, the current known attorney, Mike Howard, is more than likely charging a retainer fee of $10,000 to $30,000 and charges $400 to $500 per hour. Where did the money go, and why did they need 1.4 million? Will they be granted indigence and an appointed attorney with a GiveSendGo of this magnitude? Is this considered fraud? That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to figure out like a list of people who can have access to my stuff. But anyway, so and then this is the video. If we open this up, this is gonna be, and this is the video that she's talking about. Remember that whole press release that they came and escorted Jeff Metcalf out of, and all this, and they they made him to be there for all the wrong reasons, even though he wanted to bring the community together, whatnot. They pretty much showed, that they weren't having, they didn't want peace. They just wanted it to be about themselves, about their child, and everybody it all be about them. Remember what the dad said, it's not about the son. It's about ultimately in the background the money, because they already know their son is going into prison. So you're making money off of your son. Your son is going to prison. he's not going to be able to spend that money unless you send him commissary money. Now that's still a lot of commissary money for for somebody. I mean, yes, in there for life, so that may hold him over for life, but it's not the community and the taxpayer's job to support your child while he's in prison over a crime that he committed and is guilty for. Is guilty for. You have not all this misinformation. You say there's misinformation, there's this, all that, but you're waiting to fight in the court of law. But what information is misinformation? Where's the video that shows that your child was in the right? I'm just saying, like, you're really banking off of your son. Those fake tears, fake whatever. Talking about you can only you just started pulling out money and whatnot. Like, you got a new house after that. Like, you're okay. I mean, for all I know, how do we know these threats are for real? Are there any police reports? I mean, for all we know, you could just tell us that you're being threatened. There's no video of you guys being threatened. There's no police reports of you guys being threatened. There are receipts of people going after Jeff Metcalf, the victim in this case, the victim's family in this case. His house was swatted 3 times. But y'all house wasn't swatted, but y'all feel endangered. His son was killed, but yet y'all feel endangered. His child is buried underneath the ground, yet your family needs a whole lot of counseling. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say about these people. I mean, this is no. That's not okay. That is not okay. So again, this right here, 1.4 million. No, guys. No, guys. Give it to a charity. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. You're better off giving them your money and saving real kids who need to be saved. This child has 2 loving parents, apparently. So they say. I mean, they're only loving when the money's coming in, because I don't think they will fork up their own money, because from what I understanding, they're trying to raise everything so that way they don't have to come out of pocket for nothing that their son has done. I don't know. So now let's get into these. So throughout this whole entire case, again, everybody's trying to get justice for both sides. You know, one side wants justice for Austin Metcalf, for Karmelo Anthony to get put away for life, whatever, whatever. And then some people want Karmelo Anthony, set free, give him the help that he needs, whatever, whatever, go on and move on with their life. Well, let me just say, I'm real big on change. I think petitions, all that are essential to one, making a case to change, in order to change the law or to change something for better. And now this is kind of getting carried away. I really like this website. Hopefully they don't abuse this website, because it's a really good thing that it allows people to go on there and sign a petition without having people to go be unsafe about it and go to door to door, sign, post up at Walmart's, malls, HEBs, like And then it also helps people keep up to date what goes on in their own city and stuff like that. Like, what do you need to pay attention for and on, and what's important to you, and things like that. What do you want to change? What do you want to advocate for, and things like that. But this right here, results for Carmelo Anthony, over 15 change.org petitions. Over 15. And they're not all just about Carmelo Anthony. Some of them are in regards to Austin Metcalf as well. And Hunter Metcalf, or the Metcalf family. So let's go with we are going to start, that's the newest. So let's start at the end, and let's start at the very beginning first. So obviously we demand GiveSendGo to terminate the fundraising for Carmelo Anthony, because we already seen this is basically a fraudulent account that they're using to raise money. Yeah, for their own selfish purpose needs. Calling it, using smoke mirrors, whatever, calling it one thing, using it for another, whatever. Justice for Austin Metcalf. Demand the maximum sentence for his killer. So these are all everything that, which I understand. Anthony Carmelo Anthony was, had it very lenient there for a while when this first broke out. Like I said, his bail was reduced. He was on house arrest. Um, he was able to graduate. He was able to continue to live life as normally as possible. So yes, they were determined to hold him accountable for his actions. So, and it says halt fundraising initiatives for criminal defense. It was done with Kyle Rittenhouse. It was done with Daniel Penny. It was done again with George Floyd. Now let's open it up. I just don't like opening it up because I can't get back to the page I was at. It was done with Kyle Rittenhouse. It was done with Daniel Penny. It was done again with George Floyd. Now it's being done again with Carmelo Anthony. It is done over and over and over again. It is beyond time for America to stop rewarding criminals and their families via online fundraisers for their criminal activities. I am an American citizen, disturbed by the trend of criminals or their families financially profiting from their illegal actions. It pains me to see countless fundraisers aiding in the defense of criminals instead of supporting the victims or social development initiatives. This pattern undermines the spirit of justice and sends a concerning message to our society. According to a 2014 study by the National Bureau of Economic Research, the direct cost of crime to victims and justice system due to these crimes amount to $280 billion per annum or annual. This substantial amount could be channeled towards victim support, rehabilitation efforts, and crime prevention measures rather than allowing criminals to profit. We believe that our resources should focus on uplifting our community, not empowering those who strive to break it down. Let us unite and call upon the platforms facilitating these fundraising drives to implement stringent policies disallowing fundraising for criminal defense. Lend your support to this cause. Please sign this petition to advocate for prioritizing public safety and justice over criminal again. As you can tell, they're still waiting for the response. I think GoFundMe terminated their thing. That's why they're with that GiveSendGo thing. So this petition I think kind of worked. I think there was another one that was out at the same time. So then we have ensure fair trial for Carmelo Anthony amid bully allegations. A situation close to home has compelled me to initiate this petition. My own child has been a victim of bullying. So I'm sure this person was advocating for Carmelo Anthony to be tried as an adult and things like that because of their own experience with their child being bullied by someone like Carmelo Anthony. Demand justice for Austin Metcalf in the face of unjust bail reduction. So this is when they reduced the bail, and they were trying to get that overturned. Disbarred Judge Angela Tucker for moral turpitude over Carmelo Anthony ruling. So this is when she lowered the bond. They were going after the judge, although the judge technically has the legal right to do what's best interests of for everybody. So um oh, excuse me. Remove Judge Angela Tucker from Carmelo Anthony case due to perceived racial bias. So now, so people are wanting her removed because they think just because she's black and Carmelo's black, she has some kind of. I mean, she did mention when she came out in some kind of, I wouldn't say press release, but news um, statement or comment that she made. She clearly understood what it's like to be a young African American and a young male African American in this society. But at the same time, I think she was, yeah, you know, you're caught between a hard rock and you're not trying to. She wasn't trying to um, praise Carmelo Anthony for what he did, but at the same time, she needed to do what's right. Yeah, $1 million may have been too high for a bond, but still. It is what it is. She lowered it and people didn't like it. They went after her. So on and so forth. So again, she's doing her job. Until you get much harder evidence that she is a racial bias, I really think that was unnecessary. Um, Demand justice for Austin Metcalf, revoke Carmelo Anthony's bond, and redirect profits. So again, they want to revoke his bond, try to get him to spend the time in jail while he awaits trial, pretty much. Stop the threats around the Carmelo Anthony trial. As the murder case against Texas teen Carmelo Anthony moves forward, escalating threats and harassments have. So, again, they're crying that they're being harassed and nobody's doing anything about it. But there's a lot of people who are being harassed and nobody's doing anything about it. So, except for me, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. It's just apparently I need to murder somebody in order for me to make some money to help an organization, I guess. I don't know. Not what I'm gonna do. I will do things legit way. I'd rather go down in debt and not be able to pay my rent because I'm too busy helping others than cash in on my son's murder case. I'm just saying. So anyway, revoke Carmelo Anthony's graduation ability. Remember, I was telling you Frisco ISD overturned the expulsion and was allowed Carmelo Anthony to receive his high school diploma, in which Austin Metcalf will not be able to receive a high school diploma, but they did request for Austin Metcalf to receive a specialized diploma when it is time for him to graduate. Charge Hunter Metcalf. So this is where I kind of got a little upset. Charge Hunter Metcalf under felony murder law for his role in the death of his brother. Really, guys? Really? They're trying to say just because there was Carmelo Anthony again is still stating that it was in self-defense. There was an altercation. He was being ganged up on by Carmelo and his brother and whoever else was there. So with that said, they're trying to charge Hunter Metcalf for the death of his brother just for being there. Pretty much. If you're there, and I don't know if they're trying to say that he had a hand in this confrontation or whatever, but they're trying to say that he's technically responsible for it too, not just Carmelo Anthony. And then this is okay. This is the most current one, May 30th, 2025. Demand justice for Carmelo in Frisco, Texas. Growing up in the South, I've encountered firsthand the harsh realities of racism. Again, this has nothing to do with him stabbing somebody. This is They're only focusing on the color of his skin. Now, again, if this was a black on black, would they still be crying that, this was a race thing? If this was white on white, would they be doing it? If it was white on black, would they be doing it? This was black on white. There is three other ways that this outcome could have happened, and all those ways, I don't think they would have claimed racism in that. With all the same type of evidence, the same type of information, the same type of knowledge that we have, like, I don't think they will be claiming that this was racism if it was a black on black. I think if anything, if it was black on black, I think both of the families would have been going after the school and still avoiding any kind of accountability of the person who actually did the crime. That's what I think. In third grade, I was attacked at school by white students, and when I defended myself, I was the one who faced repercussions. That's because you didn't go and tell your teacher that they were picking on you. So this is what the guy was talking about in the video. Teach your children how to approach bullies, how to how to interact with bullies. Like, bullies are always going to be bullies. There's always going to be a bully, but to be able to tolerate them, to understand them, to be mindful of them. Like, I was attacked at school by students, and when I defended myself, I was the one who faced repercussions because you were the one that got caught. Same thing like I told my son. Like, that person may be bullying, they may be bullying you, but as soon as you go and you hit him or you do something back to them and you get caught, that's your fault because you didn't express what was going on before. You didn't put that information on the record. Like, you need to, like, I'll be like, okay, well, did he tell you? Yeah. So what did you do about it? Did you do this? Did you do that? Well, if you don't separate the kids, then my son has the permission to launch back at them. And if after he tells you what's been going on and nothing gets solved, then he's going to solve it himself. I completely understand that. But not if you're just going to be like, oh, these random white people came up and they started bullying me. And the next thing I know, we're in a fight and then I got busted. Okay. That's a totally different situation. That wasn't a repeated, but if something is repeated and then you just got tired of it and then y'all just said, okay, let's knuckle up and you got in trouble, then hey, you're just as guilty as I'm sorry. Closed mouths don't get fed. That's the way I see it. But anyway, the story repeated itself just last year, proving the unjust systems in place that often paint certain individuals as the aggressor based solely on skin color. And no, we never said it was because of skin color. It's because that's what happened. These personal experiences fueled my need to speak for Karmelo, who is now standing in the shadow of similar injustice. Karmelo, a young resident of Frisco, Texas, is wrongfully accused. Now, you don't know he's wrongfully accused. He's not wrongfully accused. He admitted to murdering this person. And that's the whole thing with self-defense. If you don't, and then you gotta ask, then he had to ask if that was self-defense. If you had to ask if that was self-defense, then more than likely that wasn't self-defense. You better be, if you're gonna claim self-defense, you better be damn sure you're well within the rights of self-defense to claim self-defense. You had no mark on you. You looking clean and fresh as a baby button. Where's the fight? Where's the bruises? Where's the blood? They jumped you, you said, or what people are saying, claiming here that you're being bullied and was attacked and you're the wrongfully accused of murder and clear case of self-defense. I'm just wondering, what was he being in self-defense from? There is no marks on his body. I'm just saying. You told somebody, touch me. So they touched you. They didn't push you. They didn't punch you. They didn't beat you. They touched you. So I'm just saying, you're talking about somebody who openly admitted to doing the crime. Didn't even know it was self defense because there was really nothing there to give him the impression that there was self defense. That's what I'm saying. You would know right away. Like, if you're getting jumped, you're getting beat, and you fight back, then yes, self defense. But just because you told somebody touched you and they touched you, ah, like, oh my God, please. Okay, that's the whiteness coming out of me. And I'm not even white, but yes. Anyway, that was me. I should stereotype like that online. But anyway, I'm like, and then you tell me, oh, well, push me and see what happens. Touch me and see what happens. Touch me and see what happens. They touched you. You looking baby fresh as a baby's bottom. Honey buns. Ain't nothing wrong with you. There was not a rib broken. There was not a lung punctured. There was not a bruise on your body. And to have these people think you were in self defense, he didn't have a weapon on him. I mean, I don't understand. Yes, I get the height, the weight, the whatever, but that really doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. Because if size mattered, then the elephant would be king of the jungle. So that doesn't matter about size, weight. I mean, geez, you never know. I might be able to take on somebody like Austin Metcalf and y'all wouldn't even know. But geez, you for so for somebody who got ganged up and jumped, you're looking pretty fresh. And then to claim the self defense, like, and then have the people like these use racism to cloud their judgments just because you're black. Now, isn't that also racism to use the race against somebody else because you think they're using it against you? Like that. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Makes no sense. His actions rooted in survival instinct. Please, we're not in the jungle. Had been misinterpreted as criminal. Well, when you kill somebody with a weapon who didn't have a weapon, that's criminal. Let's pause to think about this reality. Yes, let's please talk about this reality. How many more should suffer under the weight of unjust accusations before we strive for change? First of all, they're not accusations. He confessed. He confessed that he murdered somebody. The only thing that we're kind of just assuming, guessing, because they don't want to release a stupid video to the public is what actually led up to the events. Because he admitted that he murdered him. He just is not very positive whether it's self-defense or not because he doesn't look like he was in any threats. So now they got to come up with a story to feel like they're being threatened. So that's why we need to lay off of the Anthony Carmelo family so they don't think that we're threatening them like Austin Metcalf was supposedly threatening his son. So that way they don't go cry boo-hoo and play victim because their son did something wrong and now they got to pay for it because they didn't raise him to be a productive member of society. Just saying. This is a reflection of the parents. And then for the parents to keep asking for money and think that their child did nothing wrong and they're the golden boy and he's this and he's that and he's this. Why don't you just admit, yes, your son was a 4.0 student, 3.7 student, whatever. But he lacked choice making skills, which led him to the situation that he's in. Yes, he did what he did. We are appalled by what he did. And we are trying everything to make it right between our family and his family. How hard is that? But cry it, but you gotta cry and play the victim. My son, but your son, but now everybody's mad at us and we can't get this and we can't get that and now we're just gonna say because we're black and stuff like that because y'all are white and we don't have nothing else to go on. Exhausted. Exhausting. I am so exhausted. And then now we need family therapy because of whatever our son did. And our son did this and now y'all are being mad at us and we don't know what to do. Oh my God, where's the therapist? We need more money for the therapist. We need more money because our son is going to prison and we don't know what to do. And these people are after us. I'm sorry, that was really dramatic. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. Come after me. I don't give a shit. I ain't gonna cry boo-hoo. Best believe I just come back. Come back with authority. Come back with authority. It's like, come on. Your son was a little pussy bitch. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. Your son, pussy bitch, brought a knife to school because for whatever reason, can't get into a criminal's mind. Not my, not my career. It's not my goal. I don't want to get to a criminal mind. I don't want to. That's Shamar Moore. Shamar Moore, you can get into all these criminal minds all you want. Whatever. But the fact of the matter is y'all, give me a break. Oh my God, give me a break. The pity party? Can we get over it now? This pity party has been lasting way too long since April. It's already gone on 2 months. Cry me a river, build a bridge, get the fuck over it, move on with your life, and start working twice. Why don't you get a job, mom? Get a job, mom, and help your family out financially, mom, and save your child that way, mom. Or do you want the world to save your child and then you can look like the golden mom for whatever, like you did anything? No, that is the public's money. That ain't your money. That ain't your husband's money. That ain't nobody's, but that is the public's money. And unfortunately, that public it obviously feels sorry for you. So now it's the pity money. And you have and that's what's sad is because y'all don't have no problem taking pity money. That's what that is. It's pity money because that is pitiful. 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 If your community was so much behind you, then why do you have all these threats? Why don't you have some of those community members stand on your front yard and do their own 24-hour watch? Why don't they be nice and volunteer and sit in their car for 24 hours outside your house? Because they're not going to do it. They don't have the time. They're normal people. They work. Unfortunately, unlike you, who probably can sit out there and watch 24/7. I know when if something was on the line, when there was cold, no heat, no water, when things were going to shitballs here in San Antonio because we didn't know how to handle weather and the little natural things that happen in the world, like naturally, like cold weather, snow, no electricity, being out for 2 weeks. What the fuck are we gonna do? People coming in, starting to break into people's houses, stealing food, stealing this, like almost kind of like it was freaking what do you call it? Those apocalypse kind of movies and things like that. Yes, my butt was up 24 hours watching my own front door, making sure that fire was still going. I didn't go on GoFundMe, whatever, raise some money to hire somebody else to do it. Oh, we need this and we need that. Yes, normal family needs protection. Well, protect them. You're their parent. Protect them. What? You should have been protecting your kids by checking their backpacks before they left for school. Sorry, the AC was on now. Like, I get cold when the AC's on, and it's just too much air for me. But my kids love the AC on, and I don't know. Anyway, but yes, this is crazy. This is crazy. Anyway, let's keep on. How many more before we strive for change? No, change needs to be the way you think. Maybe we stop murdering the people, we wouldn't be held account. We wouldn't have people being held accountable for this stuff. And y'all would be complaining. And it just so happens that he's black. That's what you don't understand. Are you saying that if he was white and he stabbed Austin Metcalf and Austin was white, he wouldn't be getting the same backlash that you are? Or you think he'll be getting away with it? Because he's white. Again, it all comes to this racism. Oh, he's getting this because he's white. He's doing this because he's black. He's doing this because he's black. And this is what's happening because he's white. And la, 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 and la, 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 black, white, black, white, black, white. And then in the meantime, we're forgetting the issue here. The action. Oh, what he did. Like, that seems to be not the problem here. It seems to be either because he's black or he's white. Why is that the main focus on something of an action of somebody of what they did? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. That's like saying, oh, what if it was a female? Would it have been different if he was a female and she was claiming self-defense? Then I bet you the story would have been different. I mean, there's so many different things that we could change in this story that could make the whole outcome different, could make this whole scenario different. And ultimately, the only thing that stays the same is the act itself. It's the act itself. We could change the gender, we could change the color, we could change the weather that day. You know, we could say what happens if it was sunny. We can go through all these scenarios, but the thing that stays the same is the weapon and how, and the victim passing away and how they passed. Victim, the death of the victim, and how, and what was used for the victim. Like, that doesn't change. So why are we not focusing on the main thing? God forbid. Anyway, how many more should suffer? La, la, la. Karmelo didn't engage in violence out of malice or intent. He acted to preserve his life in a dire scenario anyone could dread. Right. Like, it was so dire because there was 20,000 coaches and staff and teachers and other people there. There were just so many. It was just, yes, and that's the case. If he felt for his life, why didn't all those other people feel for their life? The details of Carmelo's case plainly illustrate that this was not an act of aggression. No, he just wanted to steal, or he was trying to finish up one of his crimes. So anyway, let's pause to think of the reality. How many? Okay. No one should ever be forced to choose between life and freedom due to defending themselves. Such charges overlook the human instinct to survive and paint a distorted view of righteousness. We are calling on the police chief and prosecutor's office to reevaluate and drop all charges against Karmelo. There's video. They cannot drop charges. There is video. Video that they don't want us, the public, to see for a reason. Because I bet you if that video showed that he was innocent, Karmelo Anthony's family would have put it out there. They would have released him. They would have dropped all the charges. He would have been coming home. But then that would have stopped money from coming in, right? Right? They can't get no more money coming in. So they got to make this last. That's why they're not telling us what information is not correct or whatever they want to say. That's why they're not putting the video out there, whatever. They are trying to get as much money as they can from the community and society and the people themselves. That's all it is. It's the money. They already know their son's going. He confessed. There is no evidence that has come out yet to show that there was any kind of attempt on his life. This is a wake-up call for the Frisco community and beyond to acknowledge. And yet, I'm sorry, I gotta stop here again. 1,054 signatures over something that doesn't even freaking make sense to me. Common sense, basic common morality sense. If you have morals, you do not look at race, you do not look at color, you do not look at gender. You look at the issue at hand and you tackle it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, Frisco community and beyond to acknowledge the deep-rooted biases that perpetrate such miscarriages of justice, we demand justice for Karmelo Anthony. Sign this petition to support the Karmelo on his journey to vindication and to stand against discrimination and stereotyping in our legal system. No, the people who continue to stereotype are the ones that are telling us not to stereotype. Because for us, people who have not looked at race, gender, or anything like that, and had that as a what do you call it, as an influence into our decision, then honey buns, you're wrong. You're wrong, because not only are you bringing out those people who you say that are deep rooted and biased and stuff like that, but you're right on this side being just as biased as they are. Like, I don't get it. Like, where's the hypocrisy in this shit? Like, really, tell me. La 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 la. You're saying he's this because he's black and he's so offensive because he's black, but now you want us to reduce the crime and all this other stuff because he's black and la 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 la. Like, what? So you're saying that they can't use race against you, but you can use race for yourself? Like that? No, 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 no. That's not the way it works. You might as well just not even put the race in there. Just look at the crime. Look at the evidence. Until we know he goes to court, until we see the video and we know if there's really truly self-defense, then yeah. But until then, he murdered somebody, and that's what he's going to court for. That's what he's going to prison for, is for murdering somebody, regardless if he was male, female, black, or white. He did it. He did it. Did it, did it, did it, did it, did it. In his own words, I did it. I did it. In that report, it states that he said it. I'm pretty sure they got the cameras too all over it. You know, the police cameras focusing, saying that. No, I did it. I did it. I just don't know if it was self-defense or not. If you got a question if it's self-defense, it's not self-defense. That means you're already thinking about it. And I'm just saying, this right here, this petition, I'm shocked that it got 1,000 signatures, over 1,000 signatures. If this was me, I wouldn't sign it. Again, these are for the people who claim it's not about race, so they're signing it because it's about race. Like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. You're over here saying that, oh, the story is repeated itself, proving unjust systems in a place that often paints certain individuals as the aggressor based solely on skin color. But I'm also going to use his skin color to get him off. Like, what? Like, what? It's not he admitted he did a crime. If it was a she, then I would have said she admitted she did the crime. If he was white, he admitted that he did the crime. If it was a girl that was white, she would admit that if they admitted that they did a crime, they admitted they did the crime. They're wrong. They go to jail for it. Now, I get it. He's going to be self-defense. Please show me some proof of self-defense. Again, when we go to court, that's probably the time when we know if there is really truly self-defense or not. Because, again, they're keeping everything secret from the thing. And I think Karmelo Anthony, his family, and NGAN, they want that information to be kept secret. They don't want it to come out until they go to court. Because Once that information comes out showing that, let's just say the video doesn't show an altercation, shows Carmelo Anthony doing what he did, and bam, that's the end of the video. There's really no proof of self-defense. Then the Carmelo Anthony family knows everybody who donated to them, one, is either going to be pissed, or two, is going to stop donating. So the only way to continue to get money is not show those types of information that will put him at risk of people stop donating to the family. Because if there isn't any altercation, there is no proof of self-defense, the family already knows he's going to prison for a very long time. For the rest of his life. And the family will be able to have that money and live off of that money. Because currently, right now, they're not spending a dime of their own money. And we already saw, according to Sarah, he put in, what do they call it? Financially astute defendant, an indigent defendant, which means he doesn't have money. He wants a court-appointed attorney. But when we read his Facebook, the dad's Facebook, they said they wanted, but remember when I made that little remark where he said he retaining qualified legal counsel? I even said it. Court appointed is a qualified legal counsel. They're qualified with their bar. They took the bar examination. They're qualified. But that's what they're raising money for. So why in the world are you saying that you don't have the money and now you want a court-appointed attorney? Because in my eyes, well, not in my eyes, I shouldn't say that, because court-appointed attorneys are, yes, not as experienced, not going to pay attention to your case as much, whatever the stereotype is for court-appointed attorneys. I get it. But if you're raising 1.4 million, I think you can afford more than a court-appointed attorney. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about this Carmelo Anthony. I just hope, again, they have the video. She clearly saw what happened. Of course, she's not going to say, yes, I didn't see no altercation. Yes, they're going to consider, say, picture was a little grainy. There was a whole bunch of commotion. We don't know what happened. You can't tell from the video. But if you look at the police statements, there's over 30 witnesses. There's so many people. If there were, and I don't think one of those witnesses said that Carmelo Anthony was supposed to be there. I don't think any of those witnesses said Carmelo Anthony wasn't the one to stab. I don't think any of those witnesses would say that Austin Metcalf was the aggressor or Hunter was the aggressor. Because if that was the case, they would have said it when the police were doing their initial investigation. Been like, you know what? I probably didn't see anything, but you know what? He was yelling at him, and that's all I know. Or this boy was over here, or white boy over here thinking he was tough. I would tell them. But see, that's what I don't get. Out of 31 people, you're having 31 people saying it was a little push, tease, come get me, touch me, threatening, ah, la. And then you get touched, and then he stabs. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. So again, this is just crazy. Oh, I did want to play this video for you guys, but it's okay. Again, he was indicted by a grand jury for first-degree murder. His claim of self-defense, that's what he's supposedly still claiming. I believe they're thinking of dropping that claim, I'm assuming, with this new video evidence that's come out that is released to the public but not released to the public. But I have a feeling this is just another way for them to make more money. Again, if we look at all these, this is on change.org. Demand justice for Carmelo and Frisco. Like, really? Do we really want this? Or do we want the people who kill people to be put away and to do the justice? Now is the most current one. I don't know what this one is. Request for CPS review. Jessica Jones Field's past and current risks. We concern citizens, communities who believe that all children have the right to grow up in a safe. I don't know. I guess I'll look at that one later because it does have. It sounds like it has to. Well, no. Let's go ahead and look at it now. I'm curious because I don't know who this Sarah Jessica Jones Fields is. Abandoned, endangered child with intent to return. And it says, she grew up in a safe. In light of Sarah's current pregnancy, we respectfully urge Child Protection Agency to reinvestigate her past involvement in a child welfare case from 2012, which involved allegations of child abandonment and endangerment. Jones Fields has also recently placed her unborn child in a distress and potential harmful situation by voluntarily inserting herself into the high-profile, emotionally charged Notion self-defense case involving. Holy crap! Okay, so it is about. I'm sorry, I just didn't realize this was in connection with him. Case involving Karmelo Anthony. Who is Sarah Jessica Jones Fields? Sarah. Mostly recently, she targeted Anthony, a minor, at the time of his incident in a series of negative social medias, raising serious concerns about her judgment and focus during a sensitive time in her pregnancy. This type of public behavior. Oh, come on, guys. Leave her. No, no, no. I will not tolerate that. Okay. Potential harmful situation by voluntarily inserting herself into a high profile, emotionally charged national self defense case involving Carmelo Anthony. Most recently, she targeted Anthony, a minor, at the time of his incident, in a series of negative social media posts, raising serious concerns about the judgment and focus during a sensitive time in her pregnancy. No, because people work during their freaking pregnancy. You could mess me with that bullshit. I'm sorry. This just pisses me off. This type of public behavior, especially involving another minor, demonstrates a troubled disregard for boundaries and emotional stability. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. That's all I gotta say. No, no, no. No. Because of somebody's raising awareness and putting out the truth, she's now all of a sudden being looked at as far as being an unfit parent. And I get it. Child management and endangerment is sounds wrong. Yes, it can be. It can be. It could be. She could have left her kids by themselves for hours or whatever. I don't know the case. Frankly, yeah, I kind of wish I do. But again, please give us more information telling us that. I mean, because it could have been as simply like you're at Walmart and your kid runs. You turn away, you're picking something off the shelf, your kid runs to the next aisle, you lose your kid, and the next thing you know, you have 10 people looking at you like you're a horrible parent and call CPS on you. Like, and then they get you for child abandonment and endangerment over something that is an accident. And obviously, not a repeated accident because they would have been looked at, her children would have been taken away, they would have done all this. But you're bringing up something from 2012, which is 13 years ago. 13 years ago. And these are allegations. So she was never tried. She was never went to court. She never got her kids taken away. They probably closed the case because it was something that was probably, like I said, an accident. Again, I don't know the whole details of this, but this is the girl that I was telling you that I get all my information from, Sarah Fields. Sarah Jessica Jones Fields. But yes, this is probably who they're talking about. And no, I don't know if she's pregnant. I really don't look into people's personal lives like that because technically she's just doing her job. Now, I can understand that she was out there in the streets, you know, getting pushed around, trying to do, what do you call it, undercover work and things like that. Then, yes, I could see, yeah, maybe about 6, 7 months, you shouldn't be doing that no more. The first couple of months of your pregnancy, sure, go ahead. But yeah, I get it. There are certain jobs you shouldn't do. But reporting on the internet the truth, I don't think is hindering any kind of. And then saying it's emotional, really, how emotional is it to her compared to how it is to the Carmelo Anthony's family, how it is to the Jed Metcalf family? She's just a reporter out there. How emotionally integrity is she gonna? Yeah, she may feel something. She may feel bad. She may have a moral compass, but doesn't mean she's gonna stick her put her baby's health at risk. I don't think I would. I don't think she will. But then again, I don't know you, Miss Sarah Fields, but although right now I'm kind of protecting you because I don't know the whole story about that, and I'm not really protecting you. I'm just not choosing any sides because I just think that's bullshit what they're doing and what they're doing. I can understand if they would have put out some kind of document. Please show me where um, she is not allowed around children and is in danger and something like that. Please, please let me know because she's just reporting and putting the facts out there. She is not saying, "Oh, well, you're doing this and you're pregnant. You shouldn't be doing that." That's a totally different thing. You're coming after somebody's life. She's reporting the truth and what's wrong with the justice system and what's wrong in people's eyes and how they perceive things and how God, like if you were on the jury, like all we have to say is like you're a black boy and you will free them. Like, no, it is not about that. I would not want you on the jury. You be the first one to get kicked off the jury. But okay, it says vulnerable posts and coming and helpful suggestions are welcome. BDD and recent diagnosis of hypoglycemia. Okay. I am nearly 33 weeks pregnant. My entire life, I have battled an eating disorder caused by body dysmorphic disorder. I was thin before I became pregnant, and I have gained about 24 to 28 pounds throughout my pregnancy. Not a bad weight gain. It's depressing to me. I'm very conscious of it, but have tried to ignore my mental state on the matter for the sake of my baby. If you have BDD, you'll know how difficult that is. Okay, so they're basically hitting her where it hurts. It's just they're not going after her because they think she's doing something wrong. They're going after her to silence her because she clearly has she's clearly being transparent with us. Currently, I'm struggling to eat the amount I should for other reasons. I've developed acid reflux due to the size of the baby and the pressure on my organs. This is common in the third trimester. Lately, I have experienced symptoms of abdominal fatigue, dizziness, fainting spells, skyrocketing. Today I was informed that I had pregnancy-induced non-diabetic reactive hypoglycemia. I had my blood drawn yesterday after eating a full meal, and my glucose was very low. Yeah, I get that. I was told that I need to eat more and be very mindful about what I eat. I am asking for prayers to battle. I don't really see. Okay. Again, if we look at this is her job. Let's just consider this to be her job. I worked all the way up until the day the baby popped out of me. One, I didn't have no maternity leave. I didn't have no sick pay. I didn't have no sick days. I didn't have this and I didn't have that. So if I was to ever get pregnant and go into labor, whatever, I lose out on money. I don't have no money to like what. So I get it. You're working to the day regardless of what it is. Like I worked in the medical field. That was high stress. I worked with patients. Could have been emotional, could have been this, but that's what we women do. We work. Like we don't regardless. I I was what do you call it? Diabetic during pregnant. What do you call it? Those I guess hyperglycemia, whatever. I mean, or diabetic. What is it called? Gestational diabetes, like all that, like low iron, like I had to have blood transfusions, things like that. Like you, unfortunately, if you got to work, you got to work, but it's not the stress of like the whole entire job. It's the stress of being pregnant in itself. So if you're not able to go and rest or to take that last little time off for yourself, it is what it is. It's the way the world is nowadays. People did in the old days. They worked. They worked in the fields. They worked until that baby dropped. And she works from home, so I'm sure she's taken care of. I'm sure she gets the rest that she needs. I'm sure, again, she's struggling with some of her meals, but again, she's asking for the help. She's being mindful. She's being a responsible person, unlike Carmelo Anthony, who took a night to school. So you really want to compare yourself to the situation of whatever. And it looks like she's always had this disorder. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was the initial 2012 situation. But you don't know what kind of support she has at home besides what she puts out on the internet. You don't know what her personal life is. So therefore, that really doesn't come into conclusion of what she's doing as far as her job. She's still getting her job done, and I think that's what you have an issue with. Says relevant case 241. Okay, allegations child abandonment and child endangerment related to her teenage children. Deferred education entered. These facts demonstrate that legal process acknowledged the seriousness of the allegations, even if the disposition did not result in a conviction. Deferred adjudication is not an acquittal. It typically reflects an agreement that avoids a trial but accepts a degree of responsibility under supervision. So, of course, she's already reset. She has a disorder. She fights. Unfortunately, sometimes these things are a mental disorder as well. And one thing, a physical disorder is part of a mental disorder, which, all these disorders are kind of combined into one. It typically reflects an agreement that avoids a trial but accepts this under supervision. With a new child soon expected, we believe there is a public and ethical responsibility to re-examine whether circumstances have improved or if the risks remain. If no issues are present, then the reinvestigation will reaffirm her current suitability as a caregiver. If concerns persist, see, but you don't know what kind of concern. You don't know. See, that's what this is a medical condition. You should never get involved in somebody's medical information unless you're a provider. Protection Agency reviewed 2012 to 2014 case history involving Sarah Jessica Fields, assessed current living conditions and care capacity, prioritize the safety and welfare of any children in her care. So why do you have to go after her children, though? She's putting her life basically in view. She hasn't said anything bad about her children. She hasn't done anything towards children. She hasn't done, just because she is investigating a case about a child. What at that time is a child. He's no longer a child. Our goal is not to punish, but to protect. Every child deserves. That's a lie. You're there to punish. It's not to punish. It's revenge, because for you to go after somebody to that extendability and not even know if the child is really in danger, that's a totally, you are putting that family more at risk of a more mentally disturbed. Because what if there was nothing really wrong with her? She's getting all the help. She's doing fine. Then you go in and interject and you claim, and then everything. Her psyche becomes worse. Her mental psyche becomes worse. Her physical abilities become worse. And then not only are you the cause, you can be like, "Well, I told you so. It wasn't me. I didn't do it." But she fought for 10, 12 years, from 2012 to 2014. From then to now, she's been fighting to. I can't even say that. I shouldn't even be defending you, Sarah. I'm sorry. I don't know you, but this just is kind of. You don't go after somebody's kids unless you need to, and you know for sure that they're in danger. Because you don't know what the system is like. You can't just put anybody into the system, because the system is not there to save. Those systems are there to take these kids away and to sell them and to abuse them themselves. So you may be taking this child from what can be a caring, safe place to what is definitely not a caring and safe place. The government, they don't do that to protect your children. They do it for the money. Every child in the system is a dollar sign in their eyes. That's all I'm saying. And then for you to go cry to go cry wolf before knowing all the details. Now, I'm not saying this could be a legit case, but I hopefully you did your research and you make sure that that child that you're claiming is in danger is truly in danger. Because to make false allegations can be a crime in itself. Because that's like if you're putting that, like if I was to go look up this person, whoever created this, let's see, Chris Matter. And then it's a guy. It's not even a girl who did this. It's a guy. No wonder. Child Protective Agency. So that's who they're waiting for. So they are. They're trying to get her kids taken care of. Taken away. So so they say they're not. If you're not, then why do this? If you feel like that kid's really in danger, you need to have somebody go down there and do a welfare check. Because apparently their OBGYN has no problem and doesn't suspect any kind of danger to this child, or they would have reported it themselves. I'm just saying. And if it was really necessary, the time that the baby is born, the nurses and the doctors will have somebody come in there from CPS or any kind of child protective agency to come in there and talk, and then that's when they would open up the case and get taken care of. They would not let that baby leave the hospital if they feel like that baby's life is in danger. So to go out and do this it's revengeful. It's very revengeful. It's a tit for tat, and you're hitting below the belt. You're not going after mom, you're going after the baby. And this is very, very, because that's like me saying, oh, well, oh, you're going after mom. Let me look up your history and how you treat your kids. Let me go look at all the videos. Oh, like, look, that baby fell down the stairs and you didn't catch it. Like, that's child. That I'm going to call CPS on you. Like, no. Like, no. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go play for tit for tat. And then you're trying, and then you're fighting for Karmelo Anthony, a murderer, a confessed murderer, regardless of whether it was self-defense or not. He's a murderer. You killed. You're a murderer. 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 Confessed. Confessed. You 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 said it I don't know how many times. No, I did it. It was me. It was me. I did it. I did it. It was me. Did it. You have no problem admitting to it to get the clout for the kill. But you don't want to claim the truth. You want to claim self-defense. Although I can't say that that's not the truth because it can be. But you want to claim self-defense. So you cannot you can't be looking like you're a badass and then cry that you're claiming self-defense when you're getting in trouble. No, that's not what a badass is. If you're going to be a badass, kill a motherfucker, do your time, get the fuck out and do it again. I don't care. Whatever. Oh, I do care. But whatever. You get my point. It's like, how are you going to sit there and be like, yeah, I did it. I did it. It was me. I'm not saying I didn't do it. I know I did it. I did it. Oh shit. But was it self-defense? Be careful what you're saying, you dummy. Lack of common. See, that's how you know his parents didn't train him right. Didn't train him right. This falls back on the lack of the parents. Parents lack parenting. I'm just saying, like, this case has got me really, really worked up because, man, now you're going after the creators that are putting information out there. She is doing hard work. She's spending her own money to put out these requests for this type of information from the district, from the police station, from all these little areas that she needs to get this information from. And all while pregnant, by all means, do the damn thing, girl. Give you your props where your props is due. You're able to work and be pregnant and do what other women tend to do. That's what we women do, unfortunately, Chris Matter. We women, we can carry babies in our stomach for 9 months and work for those entire 9 months and it not affect us. The only thing that affects us is the mental state that other people put us in. And try to use the baby and the pregnancy to hit below to make us hurt me because they don't have no other way to get at me is to go after the baby. That was the only thing that they had on her. They couldn't come back and show receipts about the information that she put out. They couldn't say, no, that was wrong. Here's this. No, that's wrong. Here's this. No, that's wrong. But no, they want to go after the baby. That's pitiful. That's sad and pitiful. Again, I don't know the whole story about the whole CPS, but that is her case and that is her. Again, let the doctors do the work. They're more capable and they're more licensed to say if a baby's endangered in her mommy's tummy because of her diabetic or her hypoglycemia than you do. Than a man does. And I'm gonna look into this. I really want to know who this person is talking all this mess and getting involved in it. You never go after their family and then and accuse them of protection and everything. Again, we don't know if that. Again, they didn't go to trial. She wasn't convicted. She took the responsibility because she has a disease. I mean, it's not even a disease, a medical condition, a disorder. And we don't know what she has been doing to work towards bettering herself for that. But apparently she says she's been working on it, working on it, working on it. She's asking for help. So that means she's not wanting to put her baby into any more danger than like she did in the past for whatever reason that they had to go and look up that case. So please, please don't mess with the people's families. She's reporting on what she's reporting on Karmelo Anthony and how Karmelo Anthony is acting in response to Karmelo Anthony's decision. That is it. She's not going after Karmelo Anthony and the other kids because technically we can. We can go say, hey, CPS, how come you don't go check those other kids? They're in danger. They have their brother is a murderer. These parents allowed their kids to be around a murderer all their lives. Like, really? Do you know how deranged that sounds? Well, they're saying that what he did wasn't wrong. So what makes you think they're not going to raise his? They're putting their child in. They're not raising their kid. Like, what? I mean, can we? Can we really? I mean, really be careful on how you do this because if you go after one person's family, somebody's going to go after another person's family and it's going to become revengeful. And that's the way it just keeps on going. Then focusing on the matter of the truth that Karmelo admitted to murdering Austin Metcalf with a knife in the heart, in the chest, point blank. Karmelo Anthony can't confirm whether it's self-defense or not. The police can't confirm whether it's self-defense or not. The attorneys and everybody else is not going to let us see the video to confirm whether it was self-defense or not. We're going to have to wait for trial. So until then, the only thing we have to go off of is Karmelo Anthony's words that he did it. It was him. He stabbed him. He murdered him. It was him. Point blank. That's all we have to go by. So until that change and you give us different information than coming after us for reporting the truth or what the police are telling us is truth, then go after them, not us. Because we're using information that are supposed to be factual, like police reports and court documents. And so if that information is wrong, take it up with the courts. Take it up with the police station. Please take it up with them. Do not take it up with people's kids and their families and other that. The only way you fight fire with fire is with fire. If she's giving out truthful and factual information, please fight back with truthful and factual information. Not assumptions, not assuming because something happened in the past is happening again. Like, Dominic Alexander, who has repeated history of doing offenses, even all the way up until 2 years ago. Currently, you're talking about 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever. Get with it. Get with it, Mr. Chris Matter, because this petition is retarded. That's why you only got 18 signatures. And when did this thing come out? Okay, let's see. This needs to be investigated immediately. Sarah, you are a hypocrite. You badmouth Dominique about child abuse when you have done the same with your own flesh and blood. Why does people think we can control medical conditions? Hypoglycemia. There's only so much you could, like, even you could do all the things right. If your body just can't retain that, then your body's just not going to be able to retain it. You're going to need alternative solutions. Sarah, you are a hypocrite. You badmouth Dominique about child abuse when you have done the same with your own flesh and blood. Then left your daughter to be fumbled with so you can get more drugs. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Stop hurting innocent children, especially your own. Again, I don't know what the report is about. I'm going to have to go look at his thing to see if he put up the case. Looks like that's all the comments. Okay, well, it's not going to let me. Yeah, I'm going to have to look him up because, again, I don't know her whole story. I don't like people going after people's kids. Whatever happened 12 years ago, whether she still does it or not, I really don't know. The only thing is I know that currently she is posting factual events going on with this case. And until y'all show me any other proof otherwise, then there is really unfortunate about what you're saying about her because, again, you're not I don't know. You're just it's getting ring out of hand. And if you typically really thought that this baby was in danger, you would have literally made an anonymous call and reported it and not put it online like this. This is not right. Putting out somebody's medical business and personal business out there like that is wrong. And I get it, she did it on her own. She mentioned her own medical, and I think that I don't know. When was this issue? 3 weeks ago. Chris Matter 3 weeks ago. When was this? Because I want to kind of connect the dates. This started June 5th. And let me just see when she made that comment. This was 1 hour ago. So I don't know, maybe she mentioned it before or what, but photos of evidence against Sean Diddy Combs to light in court, including the showcasing hundreds of bottles of baby oil. God dang. So I don't. Oh, a beautiful tribute to Austin McKed life. Austin's girlfriend Tatum posted a sweet video on her. Oh. That's cute. So here's a report. A group of Texas activists is suing the state of Texas and its school districts after Governor Greg Abbott signed a bill requiring public schools to display the Ten Commandments in every classroom, and you won't believe who is leading the charge. The lawsuit has been filed by felon and fraud Dominique Alexander, advocate for Karmelo Anthony. Also included as plaintiffs are Bishop Gerald Weatherall, Pastor Shanika Weatherall, Reverend Bryant X. Phelps, Pastor Kevin. Okay. The lawsuit alleges Senate Bill 10 violates the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause of the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. In my past exclusive reporting, I had proven that Alexander 1 runs a fraudulent organization and is actively breaking federal laws regarding the IRS. 2 appears to be using his fraudulent organization for money laundering. 3 is being paid by Soros through donations from other organizations. 4 has a history of violence and a long rap sheet, including the beating of a 2-year-old child. And again, we don't know what information they have on her as far as what they call child endangerment. There's a difference between child endangerment and child abuse. So, therefore, her. So, see, and that's what hard because, again, anybody can call CPS and make it anonymous, and you're always going to have that case on you. They'll close the case, they won't find anything, but it's still there. It's still there. So, if somebody goes and looks it up, it's going to be there. And it's gonna say whatever they were accused of, like like convicted or alleged, whatever, or case of blah 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 blah. So it's gonna look bad, but that doesn't mean it was actually true or not or whatever. Like I said, it could have just been an angry family member that called one time, or maybe she was. I'm not putting excuses out there. I'm not gonna come up with all these things because I don't know her. Now I'm curious to know her. But at the same time, she's doing a job and she's putting the truth out there. So I cannot. That's where it's hard. Like you want me to believe you over something that's happened 10 years ago. Now I could have seen if she would have had a case every year, like Mr. Dominic Alexander. Like he continued to be a criminal. She chose to try to get help and she chose to turn her life around. Now, just because she's speaking out on somebody who chose not to turn his life around, to choose to be a criminal, still be a criminal, then yes, I get it. Call him out. It's not a hypocrite. It's that she grew up. You're bringing something that's 10 to 12 years old. Do you have any proof that she has continued whatever that was alleged back then? And again, she didn't. This is kind of like a no contest deal. You're not pleading guilty. You're not pleading innocent. You're just saying whatever happened happened, and I'm ready to move on. Same thing here. She didn't go to trial. If they really thought somebody was in danger, they would have taken that baby away. They would have taken that teenager away. They would have put her on some kind of restriction. This thing would have lasted a lot longer than 2 years. This would have been an ongoing thing for 5, 6, 7 years. Trust me. It takes 2 years just for the initial investigation for them to be like, okay, the investigation itself takes about 2 months. Then you get your kid, and then during the investigation, you have your kids taken away. So then it takes about another 3 or 4 months to show them, okay, you're good, he'll be here. And then now you got to figure out, well, you haven't had your kids in this long. Are you going to be able to take care of them now? So it does take about 2 years for a simple case matter that's not even a real case be up and closed. From sometimes it could be months if it's really really like one of those things like, oh, she fell and yeah, mother held her and she cried a really long time, and but the mom really didn't put a band-aid on her, and then you call CPS and they look at it, they're like, really, for a boo-boo? Yeah, they're gonna close that shit. They're not gonna waste their time on court paperwork. But if it's something that they can't figure out right away, be like, okay, well, we're being told this, but we don't see this, so we're gonna wait a little longer to see what's really going on and do a real true investigation. Then yeah, it's gonna take a year minimum, 6 months to a year minimum. But he has a history of IOK beating has contracts with Dallas ISD despite being a felon, which breaches ISD policy. runs an unlicensed and fraudulent security business, which we already said. And 7 is not a pastor, and he calls himself pastor for whatever reason. It comes as no surprise that this man is working with other fake pastors to remove God's commandments from being displayed in front of our children. This is the same man who believes Karmelo Anthony is innocent and has a case of just self defense. And then, of course, you see the pictures, all his charges every time he was booked. As you could tell, I think this is the most recent one, if I'm not mistaken, because I think the most recent was in 2023. So it was like 2 years ago or something like that. And it always says minister, pastor, whatever. But it says minister, Dominique Alexander. I don't know. You could be a minister and be a felon at the same time. I mean, only Fox pastors. So, yeah. So, I don't know about the whole 10 Commandments being there. I don't think why not. But of course, that is a religion thing too. So I don't know how that will go. But thou shalt not kill is one of the 10 Commandments, and if he doesn't want that in view of sight because he's representing a murderer, then that could be one of the things. But again, it is a lot going on with this Karmelo Anthony situation, and it is pretty. Oh, look, she updated 2 hours ago. Wow, I was online. Despite filing an indigent packet after raising GiveSendGo 1.4 million for a legal team. Oh, baby. Jacob Wells, founder of GiveSendGo, defends the Anthony family by stating, "Read the Constitution." Again, I'm going to need you to speak up since you called us all liars and all that. Where you at, dude? My suggestion is read the Constitution. Sorry you hate freedom so much. Oh, you're about to get dragged for this, Baldo. What the heck? What's the matter, my love? You ready for mommy to cook you something? Yes. You ready for your world tacos? Yes. You ready for some papas? Yes. Okay. But I think ultimately he has the right to. I think that's what he's saying. Read the Constitution, because I think she's saying, despite filing an indigent pack after raising the gift so million, the legal team, Jacob Wells, founder did. So he's just saying, like, yeah, he could raise his money for the thing, but he's still indigent because it's technically not his money yet, I guess. I don't know. Karmelo Anthony has received a notice to appear for July 18, 2025. So she really is keeping. So yeah, hopefully, and she joined 2011. So that was around the time that she was changing her. I don't know. Again, Sarah Fields, hopefully this petition doesn't affect you. Hopefully you're not truly doing something with kids behind there. I hope not. I haven't seen anything. I haven't heard anything. This is the first thing I've heard of you. If you were doing it before, I'm sure it would have came out way before this. I just think now you just pissed off the wrong person. So again, hopefully you stay safe, stay aware, take care of the baby and everything. Just be careful out there. They will use your pregnancy as a thumbs up. People will use CPS as a thumbs up. So just be careful. And if you already been through this situation, you know how stressful and painful and monotonous and stupid it really is. So again, be careful out there. Y'all guys, please don't donate to this Carmelo Anthony. It is all about what's right and what's wrong. It's not about, don't donate because he's black. Don't donate because it's a man or it's a guy, it's a boy, not a girl. It's a male instead of a female. Please, 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 if you really think he is truly innocent, if you have video and you know for sure he is innocent and things like that, by all means, you're more than welcome to donate. I'm just saying, if for for us people who are working off of limited information from the police, the court systems and things like that, um again, we're not able to make a full clarifying point decision, but at the same time, he did confess to the killing of Austin Metcalf. We don't have the initial whether if it was self defense or not self defense. Ultimately, that's going to have to be found out in court because they're not releasing that video to the public. They released the video, but not to the public viewing. So again, we just need to go by Carmelo's words. He did it. He's the murderer. Point blank. I'll leave it like that. Again, thank you for being here, everybody. I'm sorry if you ever get timed out. I don't know where this is at. I thought I could have thought I changed it to 60. I'll see if I missed any one of them because I swear I changed anyone that I didn't know right off the back of what to change and what, like, I don't know the whole rules and regulations to the software, and like, I mean, literally there's a whole page like this of what we want, how many, and if we want them timed out, how many seconds. Like, it's specific to the detail, and I'm like, this is way too much. Let's just change all of them to 60 seconds. That way I don't want people timed out too long, especially if I don't know why they were timed out. So again, I will get that, Rainbow. I will try the caps. I know that's in anything, and that's in YouTube too. So caps are very hard, but I don't mind caps for the most part, as long as it's like used properly. Like, wow, and showing, the enthusiasm, excitement, or expression. So I just don't want it all in caps just so I can see the message or something. Um Hey, that's kind of loud, silly. So, what do you mean no? That is kind of loud. Hey, 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 silly boy. Shh, too loud. Hey, silly boy. Hey, silly boy. Hey, baby. It's too loud. Does mommy need to take it away? Does mommy need to take it away? Okay, mommy's going to take it away. Here, take mommy. Okay, that's what I thought. Sorry, guys. So, but anyway, so before I go, just want to let you know again, our event for the Break the Silence, Break the Cycle event was canceled in June. So we did move it to July. Hold on, let me bring up my calendar. I want to say that I've been working on the 19th for my, okay, so it is the 19th. For July 19th, which is throwing me off because my family's taking a trip. My parents and my sister's taking a trip, not me. I wish I can go. It's taking a trip, and like they're leaving on the 19th as well, but it's not this year. But I'm just saying, like, I have the 19th in my head. So, but yes, I do have it on my calendar. It says elderly abuse event, but we're gonna change it to just a normal abuse event. And then because the month of July, where are we, June? So the month of July is for domestic violence and mental health. So we're going to combine that with the elderly, and we're just going to make it one big, huge abuse event for everything. But I am going to keep the flyers that I had for the elderly abuse, and I'm going to make some more for domestic violence and things like that. So we'll have a little bit of everything, and we're just going to have one big abuse event. And hey, one big event, and then we'll go from there. So again, it's on July 19th. We are still needing funds to make more brochures and things like that. Again, I have been making them myself, so it is very time consuming, and I am going to make another flyer for the new event, and I'll put it back up here and do another live like I did last time just for the event. If you are wanting to help out, hey, that is really loud. Yeah, I just said my kids are annoying. Yeah, just a little bit. But again, if you are wanting to help out financially, that'll help us. We do have people needing our assistance. We just can't help them financially. We're really new, so we're starting off. Everything that I am doing for this event was personal money that came out of my personal pocket, and going out there to raise these funds for these families that are needing assistance. Again, we help heal the wound of abuse. Vivid Lifestyles BBLS, we focus on healing the abuse, whether it's women, children, elderly, and men, veterans, anything like that. We help out all types. We don't stereotype from one abuse to another. If you are being abused, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, please, please, please get away. Find a safe place. I am working my best to raise funds so I can help in any way I can to get you out of the situations you are in. But at the same time, it does take funds. I am trying to make connections. I am a travel planner, so I am making connections with hotels, Airbnbs, vacation rentals, things like that, just so we can have safe locations for these applicants that do come through our door. Again, we need to keep their information private. I wish I could share their stories, share their, put them on a black screen or something. Maybe I can come up with something so you guys can hear, from I, the horse's mouth itself, on what they need as far as in safety and to better their lives. And so, again, if you are wanting to help financially, please go to the QR code in the corner. That will get you to the PayPal, to the Vivid Lifestyles organization PayPal. You can always donate there. Any amount it work. You can donate $1. Anything is appreciated. Trust me, $1 will go a long way to somebody who is in need. Also, actually, my link is not. That's weird. Let me go here real quick. Oh, no, it's this one. Oops. Let me take this down. And so, if you want to, if you don't feel well, I shouldn't say we feel comfortable. I think PayPal is a little bit more secure than Cash App. But if you want to do Cash App, this is the Cash App for the organizations, Vivid Lifestyles. Also, if you want to go to the website down below, thestreamlabs.com/DishinTOD. You'll be able to find my live streams there as long as the other platforms. You'll be able to donate there as well. So, yeah, if you're not able to financially donate, please don't feel like you're in any sorts of ways. We completely understand here. So we just do ask that you like, subscribe, and share this video. Those are free ways to assist us in our fight for the abuse. Spread the word. Get it out there to as many people. Tell your friends, your family members to come and subscribe. Um, come and like some of the videos. Come and share some of the videos. That we got to get the word out. If you're not able to share financially, maybe somebody that hears it from you could come in and share and help out financially. So again, word of mouth is very huge. Um, that is all we ask for here. Please, please share and like, and even if it's just like a thank you or hey girl, you're doing it. Please, please write in the comments, leave a comment, write in the chat. As long as it's respectful, it's respectful. I don't mind. I'm always wanting to talk to people, and I will try to get these stupid, what do you call them, moderator timeouts, whatever they are, fixed. Hopefully, sometime before next week. Again, this is a long video. I have been on for about 3 hours. So I am going to go. This has been actually a longer video than I expected. We're finding stuff as I was going through the other stuff. So again, thank you for being here with me. I apologize for all the chat issues. I know y'all are trying to show love and represent in the chat and things like that. I just got to figure out a way to fix this so y'all can continue to show love. Since I'm obviously, I don't think I shouldn't jinx myself. I don't think I have trolls following me, so I don't think I should worry about any kind of, them messing up my algorithm or anything. Not like I do care only because I want to get the word out, but I'm not monetized or anything like that, guys. So it's not like I'm making money on here on YouTube or anything like that. So I mean, I'm sure I'm not a big dog to anybody yet. But again, it looks like NGA, if I keep talking about the Karmelo Anthony case, I might get hit with something, a CPS case or something. But again, hopefully that won't happen. It's not my thing. I'm here to save kids and not harm them. So, or I'm here to save people in general and not harm them. Again, please go to any of the links provided here to donate, to show love, to show support. Go to my other platforms. Follow me, like me, friend me, Facebook me, message me, whatever me. Well, I should say whatever me. That just sounded so wrong. Okay. I'm gonna go, guys. It is time for me to start dinner. It is 3:30 here where I am located at, and I'm actually 30 minutes behind. I needed to start a little while ago because I'm making soft roll tacos and you know how that goes. Anyway, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to things, cooking and stuff like that. So I was going to shit. Whoops. I do cuss, guys. See, it's starting to come out a little bit. I really try to refrain from it. Try to be respectful here on the camera, but sometimes, I just come down. And then I do have my kids in the background, so you probably see me say shoot or something like that, because you know where I was going with that. So you hear me say like shenanigans and freakazoid. That's another word for me saying shenanigans. Another way of me saying. So y'all get the picture. So if you ever hear little weird words like that, you're gonna be like, "What is she talking about?" It's because I got kids, guys. I gotta, watch what I say. I don't need my little 3 or 4-year-old walking around saying shit. Okay? Or at least not yet. Until you turn 18. And then you still don't say it in front of me. Okay? You can say it in front of your friends, but not in front of me. But whatever. Okay, guys. Again, I am going to go. Chanel. Open the door, baby. Push it. No, not that one. You're knocking over there. Go open that one. Okay, guys. I'm going to go because my child is obviously don't know what's going on. So, okay. You guys have a good one. And I am outie. Bye, guys. And don't forget, pinkies up.